Hello and welcome back to Fox's Sugarloaf Farm and to the channel. And in today's video we have a digger hire just for a couple of days to do a bit of tidying up, and a little bit of work to do around the house. Dig a couple of holes for fencing around the house so that we can keep the dogs in and the chaps in at the back. But here just have an 8-ton digger hire just for a couple of days, where there's a laneway here going up to my yard where I get the cattle in. The cattle crush is just up there beside the shed, and the lane continues on down there, and there's just gates down there. And I had tidied this up before with a smaller digger where the lane was real narrow and you couldn't get down with a tractor or a jeep or anything. So, and actually the bushes are overgrown on it again. But I did dig a bit out of it and just put it up on top of the ditch so that when I had cattle in the lane that they couldn't actually get out over it. But when I had cattle on the other side in the field, the cows and calves, they sort of made bits of holes here. So when I was bringing the cattle up again, look, I just threw these lengths of woven pipe across like that, but it's just not ideal. So I'll be getting the cattle up a few times during the summer, and I'd have cows and calves in the other fields here. So what I really need to do is just tidy it up. And down at the bottom gate, I think it needs to be widened a bit, where you'd be struggling maybe if you had a trailer on the tractor, even a small trailer, to get in and out. But if I had this tidied up and fenced, I'd use this lane to bring silage down to the ewes during the winter, and then see that track in that field. That track I could fill in then, because that's just a track going around the field and it's messing up the whole field. So there's this corner here, this whole corner, where I sort of want to widen, and then I have strainers in the yard. I want to put down a couple of strainers. I don't have gates for this yet or anything, nor I don't have the fencing gear for this yet. But I just want to do a bit of digging, a bit of tidying up, and try get it ready. Like a good bit has to come off that corner there, and even maybe when I have the digger, there's a good few posts gone along this ditch and the whole way around there. I'll be able to put a few stakes down with the digger, where well, you probably could get them with the loader, but the loader couldn't get some of them. I remember I tried before. So I have a few stakes in the yard and we'll get them down. But just tidying up, and then tomorrow I have a young lad helping me tomorrow. I just want to clean out a shed there as well, and be more digger work. Have the post driver on, putting down strainers here and just measuring up for gates, so that if I'm bringing cattle up from down the fields, or sheep for that matter, but it's usually cattle coming up to this yard, that once I get them into this lane, they can't get away. And like, as I say, I'm usually on my own getting them, so that'd be a huge benefit for me if they couldn't get away. But usually what I do is I always give the cattle a little bit of meal during the summer anyway, because it just keeps them, that they nearly follow me up then, you know what I mean. A couple of the last 2 or 3 years I've had them down at the furthest part away from the yard, and I've been giving them meal. Now it wouldn't be every day, but giving them a bit of meal during the summer, and then when I need them up, that if you rattle a bucket and come up in the jeep, they nearly follow you up. They might run, when they get into a new field, they might run around it, but then if you've just even one that will follow you, it'll bring the rest on. But anyway, I want to have it that when I get them into this lane, that they're secure. And even then, if I'm working up at the crush and I have a gate across, if I have a gate across here like that the lane will actually work as a pen or something like that, you know what I mean. And I might have to put a gate up there then at the crush then as well. Now it wouldn't be ideal, the fence is not brilliant there's so many fences need renewing, but as I say, Rome wasn't built in a day. We just have to do what we can do. So yeah, so we get a bit of footage of the digger working. Now I'm not a top digger man or anything, I can just get by and do what needs to be, but that's it. I certainly wouldn't be a top digger man, so some of it, no doubt there'll be comments say, look, that's rough. But anyway, look, I just want to tidy it up a bit and get it. just show you this first bit where we're on the corner here. I'll just show you the top of the ditch. Like it's a really wide ditch, so I could afford to take a bit off it now. I did take some off there, and it's maybe just fallen away a little bit here where it's small stones, and the cattle had dug away that ditch, and there was very little of that ditch left there, so I just dug it out of there and put it here and just tapped it back. Now it's not great, but and one thing with cattle is cattle probably paw that out again, seeing that as it's fresh clay. But anyway, there was very little of the ditch there, so it saved me drawing away the clay. I just put it there. And even here, to make this, because I'll be coming down this lane with a tractor, and I need a wide swing just in case. Now you'll never get a big trailer down, but just in the off chance I'm bringing a small trailer with a couple of bales or something like that, I'll probably need to put this out in a bit of a U shape there, and then I'll put 2 gates across there. And I don't know what way they're going to do the gates here, I just don't know. But we'll go down now. I probably need to widen it down here at this other gate, down at this other gate now. Now it's fairly windy today, so I'll just shout a bit. You just might not be able to hear me too well. It's quite windy. But we're down at this sort of a 3-way gate system now. That gate has actually come off the hinge, but I think I'll probably have to take that strainer out of it, because when you're coming down this lane here, like, it's quite narrow. I'll probably have to push all that corner back in and actually dig that back in. Just keep the ditch there, but just pull the whole ditch back in, maybe 5 foot or so, because with the tractors now and the machinery now, when you're coming down, you're coming down here, and it's quite tight. It's quite tight. So yeah, I just thought there's a bit of wire there on that ditch going out there at the back of the bike, I can see. But I'll probably, and that gate has come off the hinge anyway, I knew that. But I don't need a full mesh gate here. I had full mesh gates when I had pigs, because I had half mesh gates. I'll just get out of that breeze. I had half mesh gates, and would you believe I had it in the shed, and the pigs used to hop over. The half mesh went up 2 rungs, and the pigs used to hop out over the half mesh, so I had to get full mesh gates when I had pigs, but I don't have pigs anymore. So we hope to get them again at some stage, but we're just not set up properly. So that's why I have full mesh gates here. There's no need for full mesh gates, but anyway, they're there. I just used them because I had them. So yeah, I just walked down here to have a look at that. Probably have to take that gate off, and we'll just pull that whole corner back a bit. Back in the shed there, where we're going to do a bit of tidying up. As you can see, there's quite a bit of mess everywhere. So I say there's a young fella, Ian's with me here today, so he's going to give me a hand. We're just going to get all this tidied up, and we'll show it to you when it's finished. Just doing the tidying up here. We've most of the stuff out. Just need to move the lawnmower. We've just moved this stuff. That sort of sheep stuff, dose and stuff. Some of the stuff for the halter stuff, it's just in a mess. We need to fucking tidy it up. We've made a bit of room over in another shed there, and we're just going to stick it over there. And I get bags of meal, and normally when I get near the bottom, I just go to a new bag, and then when I have 3 or 4 bottoms, I gather them all up and put them into one bag where you have a half a bag again. But I was just doing it here, and look what I found. We have quite a problem with mice. But what was happening was the mice are getting into these bags, the meal bags, and they're making nests. Look, there's a little nest of mice there. I don't know whether you can see that fully. Look at the size of the little lads. Just to show you how small he is. Very small little mice. Look, I don't mind the mice, it's the rats that I hate. But I did have poison down and I haven't seen any rats. But there could be... I'm going to leave them there anyway. There's 6 or 7 little baby mice there. We leave them there. We leave them there for the minute. I don't mind the mice too much, but as I said, it's the rats I can't stand. And usually maybe when people say when you see the mice that there's not too many rats, but I had poison down anyway. But it's when you meal in bags like that or meal anywhere, there's always rats. So yeah, we're just going to finish off. Just need to get the tractor and loader moved and the bucket, put that stuff in the bucket, move it across, move this trailer out, and then we're just going to get the grading bucket on the digger and scrape the whole thing out. And it just hasn't been cleaned out for a few years, so a bit of a clean. And like it's a torrential wet day today, so the rain has come, so we probably won't get back to the gates, hanging those gates just today. I have a bit of digger work to do, so we're scanning the cows later. So we'll get that on the video, scanning the cows. Well, he has to ring me. I think we're scanning the cows. House where we're just in the middle of putting them down. We have that one down. I just brought 2 15-foot gates out from the yard and we're going to probably hang later on. And then when I have the digger, I'll have to tidy up all this with the digger and tidy up all here with the digger. Once we put the hangers, we're putting the hangers through the post later on. We'll hang the gates now. I've no gear or anything for I've no fencing gear, posts or wire for that yet, and I'll have to tidy up down along the laneway and throw it up on the fence or throw it up on the just scanned the cows there. I stuck it on a time lapse. I just didn't have a chance to get ready. All I had to do, because it was sort of last minute, just gave me an hour's notice, so I just stuck the camera up on the top of the gate on time lapse. So we scanned there. So we scanned. I knew it was going to be poor, and I'll tell you why. Like we scanned 21 in that batch, and there was 10 empty. And I know why. And as I've said before in other videos where they were on the slats and the condition just got a little bit, but there was a couple there now that's not under condition, and I don't know why they're empty. Now there was a few with there was one with a cyst, and there was another two, I think, dirty. And then there was, as I was saying, the pedigree one that we got, where she had a little thing in her ovary in her left horn or right horn before, and the vet examined her a couple of times and washed her out twice. She's still empty. So the only route for her, I would say, is we'll have to flush her or something like that, because she was too expensive. And her breeding is quite serious breeding in her. But we've got nothing over since we bought her, and we've had her a couple of years now, so we'll have to do something with her. But there's a few more there. I knew they were going to be empty, and like one or two where they had they calved dead calves last year, and even when we scanned before, we gave them a shot of Estromet to where they were slightly dirty, and even the vet has cleaned some of them out, and they're still empty. So like those cows are going to have to go. But like there is a couple there. Pedigree ones. There was one that had a set of twins, and her condition, actually one of the twins died, and her condition just went downhill. And like normally I'd be feeding the cows here on the slats as well, and they just, with the cost of meal, I didn't give them as much. So there's a lot of factors going into it, but like I sort of know why. It'd be different if they were all empty and you were wondering why. So I sort of know why. I was expecting a good few to be empty. And that's why I was saying in a previous video that we'll just have to change things around next winter, and we'll just have to take a little bit of a loss, where I would say 85% of it is probably my fault, you know. So yeah, just have to learn and move on and try to do better next winter. Like, you really want happy cows, and the cows weren't very happy this winter. It was just a winter that didn't go well for one. Now if you look at their calves, they put everything into their calves. I'm really happy with their calves from last autumn. So in saying that, they've done a great job. And look, when next winter comes around, I'll explain everything different. Explain what I'm going to do different, and things will be different. And hopefully, look, you'll always have a few empty cows. But and as I think I said before, this year is the first year that I bolused my ewes. But like, I'm going to bolus my cows with minerals this year, because I was always putting licks out with them, and you never know what they're getting. So this year will be the first year I'm doing it. I'm going to give them the bolus before they calve, a while before they calve, and then I give them another one whenever it's a 6 months bolus or whatever, I think. So look, there's a bit of work in it, but I'm going to try it and see will it improve, and change things around, see will it improve my fertility. But as I said, I know where it's sort of gone wrong, and it's sort of my fault with some of it. So we just have to go with that. Like, some of them I will be putting in the shed to fatten, and I'll be getting rid of them. Some of them, yes. And maybe I'll buy sheep with the money, or buy in-calf heifers with the money, so that you're not dropping in numbers too much. But like, I have six or seven heifers there that I'm going to AI this year, and I've probably another 8 heifer calves that I'll be AIing next year. So like, I've probably 15 there coming through. So it's very hard to keep numbers up. But anyway, look, that's just an update on it. And I'd say now this is probably going to be the end of this video, because it's probably getting too long, where I will go back in the next video to where we done the gates. We actually hung the gates, but I just need to go back and do a bit of digger work and tidy it up around, and I'll video it, but it's going to be in the next video. So thank you very much for watching, and really appreciate everyone watching. And like, the subscribers have gone up to 1.3 now, and it's just gone really well, and I really appreciate everyone's support. So
if you like to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button, and we will see you at the next one.